All right, for today's video review, we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Beast Wars Deluxe Class Sky Shadow, another Fuzor from the Beast Wars toy line. Sky Shadow is a Predacon that turns into the mixture of an iguana and a dragonfly, which is a neat little combination here. I find it funny that Sky Shadow actually gets to turn into an iguana, despite the fact that there are multiple other toys in the Beast Wars toy line named iguanas that don't turn into iguanas. But yeah, no, it's a pretty good mode here. I love the iguana head. It's some nice like lizardy like scaly detail there on the face. I think that works pretty well. And the dragonfly detail is nice too. The wings I think look pretty good, and the dragonfly tail there. I'd say the one part of the alt mode that I'm not crazy about is just how the robot mode legs become the back legs of the lizard, because they end up being a little bit like too long proportionally, but you know, that's nothing new for Beast Wars guys here. He's got a few gimmicks in this mode. The top set of wings here are on this little piece right here, where if you unlock them, they can kind of flap back and forth. Granted, this is not, you know, like the direction that dragonfly wings flap. They would be going up and down, because why on earth would they be doing this? But you can do that. It's honestly a bit more for the gimmick in robot mode, but you can use that here too. And then likewise, he's got this little button back here, or little you know, sliding piece that if you get your finger on it and you slide it back, it will just release a friction fire missile there, which is pretty cool. It just pushes this little latch forward, which you know, just releases the missile from its like ball joint section here, of its like socket that it's clasped into. But yeah, in terms of articulation in this mode, the mouth of the lizard can open. Sometimes it can get a little stuck in there and hard to actually get a fingernail on. There we go. So you can pull it down about that far. As you just saw, the head, you know, for transformation unfolds like that. So you can kind of cheat it a little bit to, like, you know, give it a little bit of bend back and forth, but not a ton. The front legs here are on ball joints at the hips, ball joints at the knees, and then hinges at the feet. And the back legs here, which will again just become the robot mode legs, have ball joints at the hips, ball joints at the knees, and ball joints at the feet. Which, you know, surprisingly have stayed pretty tight throughout the years. He's like one of the toys where it's just like the ball joints have really not loosened a whole lot, which is nice. And then the wings here, like I said, these can hinge back and forth. These other set of wings can also hinge back and forth. And then if these are out of the way, they can also hinge up and down for the, you know, proper dragonfly motion there. So, you know, you can have it displayed with the wings all the way out to the side like this, or with these kind of swept back and then these kind of out to the side, whichever you prefer. You know, I think either looks pretty good there. In terms of comparisons in this mode, just for a standard one, here he is with Kingdom Sideswipe in his robot mode. For a modern Beast Wars figure, here he is with Cheetor there, just so you can see what he looks like with an average size modern deluxe Beast Wars figure. For another deluxe Fuzor, here he is for the little freak that is Injector, I think maybe the first Beast Wars review I ever did on the channel. Really, really weird figure. I love him. But yeah, they look kind of cool together. And yeah, in terms of transformation, he's got some kind of neat stuff going on. First thing you want to do is take the entire back section with the wings that are tied to that gimmick and just unpeg that. And then likewise take the head, kind of, it's sort of like pegged into both of these sections with this hole right here. Just kind of unlatch that and bring it down, then bring these neck sections down. Take the front legs here, and they kind of fold out on a hinge like that, just so you can kind of rotate them down and out of the way. And this allows you to take this entire body section here and just hinge it up like that, and then bring the whole arm section with the iguana head down like that, and then this arm section around like that, and then actually it will rotate 90 degrees and, you know, put this arm on this side and this arm on this side, and then you can bring this whole thing back up and latch it back into place here. Then you want to take the waist and just rotate it around like that, and then it will actually fold up like this, and the whole dragon, you know, dragonfly tail here will come up like this. Unlatch the missile from the little you know, latch there, and then bring it up like this. And then what you basically want to do is you want to feed this section through, which can be a little bit annoying, honestly, like bringing these sections up. You kind of want to move like one of these neck sections around the head at a time, so you can kind of get the head into place, and then that will peg in, and then just kind of feed the missile through that to sit up like that. Straighten out the legs here. you want to bring these wings up just kind of onto the chest like that. I'm not sure exactly what you're really supposed to do with these lizard legs. I think they just end up kind of like floating in the back here. What I usually do is I bring them up just a little bit and then kind of hinge them at the knee so they kind of like sit up over the shoulders like that. I feel like that's just kind of the cleanest look there, but you know, they've got a number of joints, so you can kind of do whatever you want with them, and then just kind of straighten out the arms however you like. Take the iguana head and kind of fold it up like this to reveal the other robot mode hand, and there we have Sky Shadow in his robot mode. And yeah, he's a weird looking dude. I really like the whole thing of the the missile launcher at the end of the dragonfly tail becoming the head in robot mode. I think that's pretty cool. Obviously, you can still use the friction missile, just like pushing it on your own now and shooting it out of his mouth. I think that's kind of a neat aesthetic. It's got a really cool head sculpt with or without the missile there. Just very very alien like. Very neat aesthetic there. In terms of articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so it can rotate around and gets a pretty decent range there. The shoulders are each on ball joints here and can rotate around. You know, I never noticed that, but I guess the shoulder pieces are actually the same mold, despite how asymmetrical the arms are. But can rotate around. If you have the wings kind of up like this, they do kind of run into that, but obviously you can move those out of the way to move the shoulders around on the ball joint there. This elbow is also on a ball joint, although he does kind of have the gorilla arm thing going on where his hand is facing in this direction. If you wanted to, you could flip this the other way and just make the iguana head his jaw. I think some of the actual art for this guy actually depicts him with that as well. It still has a gorilla hand, just kind of in the opposite direction, so it doesn't really work either way, but you know, it's fine. And then this arm is also on a ball joint, which gives him about 90 degrees of bend at the elbow, and then can rotate this around, and then obviously you can hinge these open and closed. He does technically have a waist swivel, but it's pretty locked up for transformation. Like, you can get a little bit of movement, but it does kind of like mess with the whole joint here because it still has this tail like plugged up into the body. So you can get a little bit and have it still work, but it's not really supposed to move. And then the hips and the knees and the feet are just like they were before, still on ball joints here. Gets a pretty decent knee bend there, and then also gets forward and backward and a little bit of a ankle tilt there. So yeah, pretty, aside from this one arm, and I mean, this arm is a little bit unwieldy, but otherwise it functions. He's got pretty decent articulation there. Yeah, you can still use this gimmick as well, where you can kind of open and close the claw there. I think it's a neat thing there. It's kind of like a big unwieldy hand, but I think it works cool. It works all right as a big, cool capture claw kind of thing. In terms of comparisons in this mode, here he is again with Sideswipe and Cheetor, just so you can see what he looks like with some average modern deluxes, Beast Wars and otherwise. And then here he is again with Injector, just so you can see what he looks like with another deluxe Fuzor there. And yeah, as much of a freak he is, it doesn't really hold a candle to to Injector there. But yeah, I think that they make for a cool little duo there. Both being like, I mean, I guess they both turn into bugs mixed with something else that is scaly, I guess, if you want to take that comparison. But yeah, no, I think that they look pretty cool together. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to him. Not a whole lot else to say about this figure, just a neat aesthetic there. I think that he has a cool alt mode, a cool robot mode, some like kind of awkward kibbly bits with the arms here, but ultimately I think he's a pretty neat little figure. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to him. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Make sure to check me out on my Instagram account. That's toys.n.art. Without further ado, here we have Transformers Beast Wars Deluxe Class Sky Shadow.